Today our topic is why Stoicism is the ultimate self-help philosophy. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live a good life, how to handle challenges, and how to find peace even in difficult times. It is not just a set of ideas, it is a way of life. Many people today think of self-help as something modern, like reading books or listening to motivational speakers. But the truth is, Stoicism has been helping people for over 2,000 years, and it is just as powerful today as it was back then. So why is Stoicism the ultimate self-help philosophy? Let's explore this step by step. First, Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. This is one of the most important lessons in life. Think about it. How much time do we waste worrying about things we cannot change? The weather, other people's opinions, traffic, or even the past. These are all things we cannot control. But we can control how we react to them. Stoics like Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, and Seneca all said that our power lies in our choices, not in external events. For example, if someone insults you, you cannot control what they say, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to stay calm, to not let their words hurt you, and to focus on your own values. This is a simple but powerful idea. It helps us stop wasting energy on things that don't matter and instead focus on what we can do to improve our lives. Second, Stoicism teaches us to accept reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. This is another key lesson. Many of us spend a lot of time wishing things were different. We wish we had more money, more success, or more love. We wish people treated us better, or that life was easier. But wishing doesn't change anything. Stoics believe that the first step to happiness is accepting the world as it is. This doesn't mean we should give up or stop trying to improve. It just means we should start from a place of acceptance. For example, if you lose your job, instead of complaining or feeling sorry for yourself, you can accept the situation and focus on finding a new one. This mindset helps us stay strong and resilient no matter what happens. Third, Stoicism teaches us to focus on our own character and values, not on external rewards. In today's world, we often measure success by things like money, fame, or status. But Stoics believe that true success comes from within. It comes from being a good person, from living with integrity, and from doing what is right, even when it is hard. Marcus Aurelius, who was a Roman emperor, wrote in his diary that the most important thing is to be virtuous, to be honest, kind, and fair. He said that external things like power or wealth are temporary, but our character is something we carry with us forever. This is a powerful idea because it reminds us that we don't need to chase after things to be happy. We just need to focus on being the best version of ourselves. Fourth, Stoicism teaches us to prepare for difficulties and to see them as opportunities for growth. Life is full of challenges, loss, failure, and pain. But Stoics believe that these challenges are not just obstacles, they are also opportunities. They help us grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, said that we should not fear difficulties but welcome them, because they test our strength and teach us important lessons. For example, if you go through a hard time, instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you can ask, "What can I learn from this? How can I grow from this experience?" This shift in perspective can make a huge difference in how we handle life's ups and downs. Fifth, Stoicism teaches us to live in the present moment. Many of us spend a lot of time thinking about the past or worrying about the future. We regret things we did or didn't do, or we feel anxious about what might happen tomorrow. But Stoics remind us that the only moment we truly have is the present. The past is gone, and the future is uncertain. All we can do is focus on what we are doing right now. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we should treat every day as if it were our last, not in a fearful way, but in a way that helps us appreciate the time we have. This doesn't mean we should ignore the future or stop planning. It just means we should not let our worries about the future take away from the joy of the present. 6. Stoicism teaches us to be grateful for what we have. In a world where we are constantly told to want more, Stoics remind us to appreciate what we already have. Epictetus said that we should not take anything for granted, not our health, our family, or even the air we breathe. He said that if we can learn to be content with what we have, we will always be rich, no matter how little we own. This is a powerful lesson because it helps us find happiness in the simple things. For example, instead of always wanting a bigger house or a better car, we can be grateful for the roof over our heads and the food on our table. This mindset helps us feel more satisfied and less stressed. 7th, Stoicism teaches us to be humble and to remember that we are part of something bigger. Stoics believe that we are all connected, not just to each other, but to the universe as a whole. Marcus Aurelius wrote that we should see ourselves as part of a larger community and that we should care for others as much as we care for ourselves. This idea of humility and connection helps us stay grounded and reminds us that we are not the center of the world. It also encourages us to be kind and compassionate, which are important qualities for a good life. 8. Stoicism teaches us to practice self-discipline and to avoid excess. In a world full of temptations like junk food, social media, or shopping, Stoics remind us to be moderate. They believe that self-control is one of the most important virtues. Seneca said that we should not let our desires control us, but instead, we should control our desires. This doesn't mean we should never enjoy life or have fun. It just means we should not let pleasure or comfort take over our lives. For example, instead of eating too much or spending too much money, we can practice moderation and focus on what truly matters. 9th, Stoicism teaches us to reflect on our lives and to learn from our experiences. Stoics believe that self-reflection is one of the most important habits we can develop. Every day, they would take time to think about their actions, their thoughts, and their goals. Marcus Aurelius kept a journal where he wrote down his reflections and reminders to himself. This practice helps us become more aware of our behavior and more intentional about our choices. It also helps us learn from our mistakes and grow as individuals. Finally, Stoicism teaches us that we are not alone in our struggles. The Stoic philosophers often wrote about the challenges they faced, whether it was illness, exile, or the pressures of power. But they also wrote about how they overcame these challenges with courage and wisdom. Their writings remind us that no matter how hard life gets, we can find strength within ourselves. They also remind us that we are part of a long tradition of people who have faced difficulties and found ways to thrive. This sense of connection to others, both past and present, can be a great source of comfort and inspiration. In conclusion, Stoicism is the ultimate self-help philosophy because it gives us practical tools for living a good life. It teaches us to focus on what we can control, to accept reality, to build our character, to see challenges as opportunities, to live in the present, to be grateful, to be humble, to practice self-discipline, to reflect on our lives, and to find strength in our struggles. These lessons are timeless, and they apply to every aspect of life, whether it is work, relationships, health, or personal growth. Stoicism is not about escaping from the world or denying our emotions. It is about facing life with courage, wisdom, and resilience. And that is why it is so powerful. If we can learn to live like a Stoic, we can find peace and happiness, no matter what life throws at us.